Hi everyone, my name is Danny and I'm with the Audio Technology Department, and today I'm going to be showing you how to run a basic in-the-box mixing session here in Control Room A. So the first thing you want to do is just open up your session, and then here we have to make sure that all our tracks are routed to the correct output. And the way we do that is by we just have to select all the tracks. We can do that by clicking on the first one and then pressing Shift and selecting the last one, and you can see how now all of our tracks are selected, and then pressing Option Shift and clicking on the output of any of the tracks, we can now select what output we want to use. In my case, I always use output 1 and 2, but sometimes, let's say we wanted to use output 11 and 12, you can get this message here that says path NA or path not available, and since you can encounter this problem in the studio, I'm going to teach you how to solve it. You just go to Setup, I/O, and then under the Bus tab here for output 11 and 12, you can see how here it keeps saying path NA. So we're just going to click there and select where it says out 11 and 12, and now everything should be routed and ready to go. So we just click on OK here, and now you can see how now all our tracks are routed to output 1 and 2, 11 and 12, sorry. But as I said, I always use output 1 and 2, so I'm just going to press Option Shift again, click on the output here, and select 1 and 2. And now all our tracks are routed to output 1 and 2. So the next thing we have to do is we have to come here to the patch panel, and basically we need to take our signal from Pro Tools into the console. So the way we do this is by just grab a couple of cables. We need 2 of them because we're mixing in stereo. So we need one for the left channel and one for the right channel. So since we're using DAW output 1 and 2 in Pro Tools, we're going to go here to row number B, and under this DAW output row, we're going to go to 1 and 2 because those are the outputs we're using in Pro Tools, and just connect our cables in there. And now we need to take our signal from Pro Tools into the console. The console has 48 inputs, but it also has some extra inputs we can use. There are the external A inputs, and as you can see here on row F, there's external A1, external A2, external A3, and external A4. These are the inputs we want to use when we're mixing in the box. So let's just use external A1. So we're going to connect our cable coming from DAW output 1 into the external A1 left, and then our cable coming out of DAW output 2 into the external A1 right. So now we have our signal coming out of Pro Tools into the console through the external A1 input. The next thing we want to do, we're going to come here to the console, and we're going to tell the console that we are using the external A input and we're using the first external A input, external A1. The way we do that is we press this external A button here, and then we need to make sure this 1 is selected because we don't want to use the external A2, 3, or 4 inputs. We only want to use the external A1. So now we're telling the console we're using the external A1 input, and now we need to tell the console we want to send the external A input signal into the monitors. And we do that here in this column where it says Mon SRC or monitor source. And again, we're using external A, right? So make sure this button is pressed. So now here in Control Room A, we have 3 different set of speakers. We have the Genelecs, we have the Vocals, and we have the N-Stands. Sometimes the Genelecs, they have a lower level than the other set of speakers, but you can bring them up with this remote here, and just make sure they are pointing at your ear, kind of. That's a good reference. And here in the console, you can select the monitors you want to use with these 2 buttons. When none of the buttons are selected, the signal is going to be sent to the Vocals. If you want to use the N-Stands, you want to press this mini A button, and if you want to use the Genelecs, make sure you press this Alt 5.1 button. So now everything's ready. We have selected our monitors. Before you press play, make sure the level is not too loud because you don't want to damage your ears. So with this blue knob, we can change the monitoring level. So make sure it's around like 1, just so it's, again, it doesn't hurt your ears. And now we can just press play, and there's our signal. Cool. Another cool feature of the SSL is that it's not only an analog console, but it also lets you control Pro Tools. In order to do that, you want to make sure this button here, this is called the focus button. And when this button is selected and it's blue, all the faders are controlling the analog side of the console, let's say. But since we only want to use it to control Pro Tools, we have to make sure this button is not selected, so it's not blue. And now we can see how our faders here are mirroring our faders in Pro Tools. And when we move our faders here, our fader in Pro Tools, it's also moving. We can also change the panning of our tracks in Pro Tools with this knob here in the console for every track. So that's it. Now you know how to run a basic in-the-box mixing session here in Control Room A. So just have fun, and I hope this video helped you.